Okay, so this video just covers a couple guidelines that we like to use for our product reviews, and we ask that you follow. Um, so with the product reviews, I've come up with just a sample template here. If you want to come to this website, it's called Juicer Fanatics. If you're looking for some direction on how to, structure these reviews, you can come here and just click on Juicer Reviews. And more specifically, you can come to this one if you want to. And this is a good example of how you could structure that review. We ask that the reviews be at least a minimum of 700 words. Um, if you need to go beyond that, you're free to go beyond the 700 word limit. It's just the important thing is we have it at least 700 words. This is a good example here. Best thing to do is just start off that review with a nice intro paragraph like this one. This one does, and then to start with some subheadings like this, it gets into features, and then the good, and then it gets into the bad, and some best suited for, not so great for, and then always want to end with like a verdict or conclusion, that sort of thing. So our objective here is just to give the reader some nice nice, really accurate information to help them make an informed decision uh, on this particular product. If they want to hopefully, we're not really selling. What we want to avoid is basically overselling a product. We don't want to make it seem like we're selling it to them, but just giving some nice, uh, you know, info on the product based on your own industry research, basically. So subheadings are really important. We want to include these subheadings. Here's an example. Let's see if I can find that. Here's an example of an article without subheadings and then one with subheadings. So as you can see, it looks much nicer if we have the subheadings. So we want to avoid these reviews to just be, to have the paragraphs without the subheadings. Also, we want to avoid these reviews to look like just one big piece without any paragraphs, because we find that the readers, it's more reader friendly basically if we have it broken up into paragraphs. Looks nicer too. So using the actual the product model, this can get a little bit tricky. We're not really focusing on keyword placement with these product reviews, but we definitely want to mention the product model. We want to make it clear that this is a review on this particular product model. So that being said, we definitely want the product model to be mentioned in the main title as well as the first paragraph. Here, these are the two most important places to use, to start off our review with. And Google comes in and basically sees that we want Google to come in and see that this is about the Prevail Compact Juice Fountain or about this particular model. And we want to rank for that particular product. So we ask that you add the product model in the main, in the main title, and then it would be nice if you could end that title with just a review, the word review. Okay, that's important because usually when people search in Google, they search with the review variation. They end that search with a review. So that's basically what we want to rank for. And that's what also kind of distinguishes us from the e-commerce sites. E-commerce sites are usually ranking titles with just like, just the product name, the product model name without the review. We want to be we want to be known as kind of a review site. That's why we're adding the review at the end of that. So with the titles, basically the titles are kind of tricky because sometimes they can be like if you come to Amazon and we're looking at this title for this actual product, sometimes it can be like a little bit excessive, really long, and there's a lot of words in there that we don't really need. Like this one has 700 watts, and sometimes they even put like the color of it and then the year it was manufactured, that sort of stuff. These are definitely words we don't need. Sometimes when we give these product reviews out to the writers to write, they'll basically just copy this whole title and they'll use it in our main title. and then they'll also use it throughout the article. It just makes it look really kind of robotic and unnatural. Um, so we definitely want to leave out words like, we don't really need words like 700 watt. And when people are searching this particular product on Google, likely they're not going to be typing in this whole title to search for it. They're going to be shortening this, right? They're going to be typing in something like maybe Breville compact juice fountain, something like that, something shorter. And we can actually check that too. If we come to Google here, we can start typing in the search box here, Breville compact. As you can see, the Breville compact juice fountain review. This is an actual phrase that someone has typed in. This is exactly what we want to use for a title. It's short, people are actually searching for it, and it's specific enough to our actual product. As you can see, that's what they've basically done here, only they've included 700 watt, which is something we could leave out. We don't really need that. But with the title, we want to keep the title at least 70 characters long. So that's not words, that's characters. 70 we want to keep the title at least, we want to keep it within a 70 character limit. Because if it goes beyond 70 characters, Google won't index anything beyond 70 characters. That's why we try to keep it shorter. And also it looks nicer to have the shorter titles. And then also to mention the product name within the first 100 characters would be nice if you could do that. Definitely within the first paragraph, but if you can get it within the first 100 characters, that would be great. So another reason for that is because Google only indexes the first 100 characters of your article for the description. That's why it's kind of nice to have that. But again, if it sounds unnatural within the first 100 characters, you can also you can keep it within the first paragraph. That's good enough. So yeah, with the titles, we definitely want to keep them on the shorter end and just make it sound like here again. We don't need, we don't need words like 700 watt and that sort of thing. And you can actually come to Google and kind of check it out for yourself and see what phrase people are searching around that particular model. You could add, this to the BJ. What this guy has done is he's left out the actual specific model name, probably because he sees that people aren't actually searching. When they're searching for this model, they're not actually typing in the actual model name, their number. It's kind of hard for people when they're doing searches, just kind of random searches. It's hard for them to recall the actual model name. That's why they're likely just typing in Breville compact juice fountain. And that's probably likely why this person has left it out of the title. But you're free to add that as well if you want to. I think it's a pretty, it's definitely, it can be nice to have, especially if you're reviewing a bunch of different Brevelles. It's good to actually have the model name in there to kind of separate them. And people, you never know, some people, they may know it specifically by that model. So it'd probably be a good idea to have the model number in there. But words like 700 watts, or like this one we see with DVD, we can leave out. Definitely don't need words like that. Certified remanufactured, we don't need things like that. If it says like a color, we don't need colors in there, that sort of stuff. So going beyond the title and beyond the first paragraph, I know that you're going to have to mention the juicer. You're going to have to, when you're talking about it, you're going to have to bring it up. The only thing we ask is that when you do bring it up, further along down in the article, that you just vary it up a little bit. We don't have, you use different words basically to talk about it. So in other words, we don't want to say, as you can see here, they say Breville compact juice fountain. We don't want to use that same phrase when calling on the product down here. We don't want to have Brevel compact juice fountain down here, and then another one down here. We don't want to have Brevel compact juice fountain, and then Brevel compact juice fountain. We want to basically vary it up. So in one place we could have it read Brevel compact juice fountain here, and then maybe in another place we could have the Brevel juice fountain, or the Brevel juicer, or the compact juice fountain, or this juicer, that sort of stuff. So we're varying it up. We're basically making this. We're talking about the same product, but basically just using different words to talk about it. So it just makes the article, it just makes it read better, it sounds more natural, and then we also avoid, any risk of being over optimized for Google. So that's one of the main important things to look out for when writing these product reviews, is just having it sound nice and natural, and variation. Other than that, you can also keep in mind like readability. Brought up this website here, Yoast. We actually use this plugin with all our sites, and what this does is it comes out with like a readability score for our articles, and we definitely want a nice readability score with these articles. And this particular blog post provides some tips on how to achieve a nice readability score. Here it says, clear paragraphs, keep the sentences on the shorter end, short sentences. Uh, Limit difficult words. We don't want a bunch of words people have a hard time understanding or reading, or they just don't know what it means. Transition words, use transition words like, because, thus, besides that. These type of words are nice. Let's see, and then like I was mentioning, variation, mix it up a little bit. So you can actually come to this site here, and you can follow these tips too if you want.